It's happening right now. The internet is holding its breath. Forget everything you thought you knew about celebrity scandals. Because what's exploding out of Harlem tonight is bigger, darker, and far more dangerous than anyone ever imagined. Jim Jones isn't just clapping back at Chrissy's response, he's detonating a bomb that's been ticking for 20 years. And the blast radius. It just pulled Mama Jones into the war zone. This isn't your typical breakup drama. This is betrayal, receipts, and revenge playing out in real time across Instagram Lives, TikTok leaks, and anonymous emails, so explosive they're practically radioactive. Fans are already calling it the Harlem Watergate. Twitter can't stop trending it. Hashtags are multiplying like wildfire. Hashtag Jim Exposed. Hashtag Chrissy Receipts. Hashtag Mama Knows. And just when you thought you'd sent of everything, wait until you hear the voicemails, the secret group chats, and the mysterious new truths in Harlem account threatening to drop the kind of evidence that could end careers. We're talking hidden bank accounts, whispered threats, and a video so devastating even Mama Jones herself is begging Chrissy not to release it. This is more than gossip. This is a generational war tearing through a family built on loyalty, secrets, and Harlem pride. Tonight, we're pulling back the curtain on the receipts, the betrayals, the meltdowns, and trust me, what you're about to hear will shake you to your core. Stay with me, because by the time this ends, you won't know who to believe, who to trust, or who's about to lose everything. The world stopped spinning the second Jim Jones went live. No warning, no announcement. Just one swipe, one flick of his thumb. And suddenly the man who'd been silent for weeks after. Chrissy's devastating response was staring into the camera with eyes full of rage. Thousands poured into the live within seconds, the comments flooding so fast the screen blurred. And Jim? He wasn't easing into it. He came in swinging, words sharp, smoke curling around him, fury practically vibrating off the screen. Chrissy had been playing victim for too long, he growled, and the internet instantly caught fire. Those 6 words detonated like a bomb. The whispers, the rumors, the gossip that had been bubbling since Chrissy's so-called freedom speech suddenly felt like kindling, waiting for this exact spark. Fans screamed in the comments. Receipts. Expose her. Protect Chrissy. The divide was instant, sharp, and vicious. But Jim wasn't bluffing. He leaned back, eyes narrowing, and raised his phone like it was a weapon. Y'all think she innocent? Nah, I got receipts too. He pressed play. And the world held its breath. A voicemail echoed through the live, faint, but unmistakable. Chrissy's voice. You know, I stayed quiet about what you did in Miami. Don't push me, Jimmy. The chat detonated. Miami, 2 syllables that ripped through social media like a hurricane. What happened in Miami? Was it another woman? Was it financial? Was it something darker? Within minutes, fan accounts slowed the clip down, enhancing the audio, looping it again and again. Gossip blogs churned out headlines. What Miami secret is Chrissy hiding? Jim Jones exposed in leaked voicemail. Twitter boiled with speculation. One camp swore Chrissy had covered up tax fraud for Jim. Another screamed infidelity. Screenshots of old paparazzi photos in Miami resurfaced. Jim at a pool. Jim at a club. Jim disappearing into a hotel at 3 a.m. Threads multiplied. Hashtags surged. Theories grew more dangerous by the second. But Jim wasn't done. He waved his phone again, smirk curling across his face. Tell me I'm lying, he spat. And then he dropped screenshots. Alleged late-night texts pulled straight from Chrissy's phone. The name M glowing at the top. The messages dripped with betrayal. You were the only one who held me down when Jim couldn't. Another? Sometimes I wish it was you instead. Gasps filled the comments. Fans screamed in disbelief. Some yelled Photoshop. Others swore the timestamps, the battery percentage, even the font style were too perfect to fake. Blogs pounced instantly, plastering the texts everywhere. Dissecting every pixel like detectives at a crime scene by sunrise. The internet was a war zone. Half the world branding Chrissy a manipulator, the other half screaming Jim was fabricating evidence. But the real explosion was still waiting in the wings. Because Mama Jones wasn't about to stay silent. Hours later. With social media still smoking from Jim's live, Mama Jones stormed into the narrative. No PR filter, no polished setup. Just Mama in a robe, hair wrapped, eyes blazing like fire. She hit go live and the internet shook. "Don't nobody disrespect my son," she roared, her voice vibrating through the phone speaker. "Chrissy been using him for 20 years, and I'm not gonna sit quiet no more." The comments section went feral. Mama Jones wasn't mincing words. She accused Chrissy of manipulation, greed, betrayal. But she wasn't just yelling, she was promising secrets. "I'm about to let y'all know what she really about. The things she never wanted you to know." And then, like gasoline hitting fire, screenshots leaked. An alleged group chat between Mama Jones and 2 unidentified numbers. Mama's name visible. The messages brutal. "I told Jim years ago she only in this for herself. Another, she took that money and never paid it back." Fans lost their minds. If true, it meant Chrissy had been hiding money meant for family projects. Betrayal, fraud, a snake in the house all along. Gossip blogs published the screenshots within minutes, debating authenticity, amplifying the chaos. Twitter hashtags #MamaKnows and #ChrissySnake trended worldwide, but the madness didn't stop there. Just as the screenshots reached peak virality, an anonymous email landed in multiple gossip blogs' inboxes. The sender claimed to be a former VH1 producer. The subject line, "The truth about Chrissy's freedom speech." The body of the email, devastating. According to the alleged producer, Chrissy's viral response had been carefully rehearsed. Filmed multiple times with producers leaning into the chaos for ratings. Worse, Jim had no idea it was going to air. He had been blindsided. The email painted Chrissy as cold, strategic, and ruthless. She wanted sympathy. She wanted the narrative. And she wanted Jim humiliated on national TV, the sender wrote. Within minutes, #Chrissy Exposed was trending alongside #ProtectChrissy. Fans screamed in both directions. Was Chrissy a victim finally finding her voice, or a mastermind orchestrating Jim's downfall? Celebrities jumped in, fanning the flames. Erica Mena tweeted, "Never bite the hand that fed you. Some PPL forget who put them on." Tamar Braxton's Instagram story was cryptic. "Some women stay silent for years. Doesn't mean they didn't suffer." The internet split straight down the middle. Then Jim reappeared. Another live? This time, different. He wasn't smirking. His voice cracked. His eyes glistened. "I gave that woman 20 years of my life, and now she got the whole world looking at me like I'm a monster." The sympathy poured in for a moment. Fans softened, until Jim dropped another nuke. "She ain't tell y'all about the contract she signed behind my back. A deal with VH1 for her own spinoff. Y'all don't know who the real snake is." The comments screamed. Right. Show IT, liar. Minutes later, a blurry screenshot began circulating online. A VH1 proposal allegedly signed by Chrissy herself. Title, "Chrissy's New Chapter." If real, it proved Jim's point. Chrissy had been plotting her escape, her empire, long before her freedom speech. Gossip blogs plastered the screenshot. Twitter hashtags exploded again. #Chrissy spinoff versus #Jim is lying. And just when fans thought the tide had finally turned against Chrissy, another leak detonated. A fan account posted unseen reunion footage, Chrissy backstage, breaking down in tears, sobbing to a producer. "I can't do this anymore. He'll never change. He'll never stop humiliating me." The raw footage flipped the narrative. Sympathy rushed back to her side. Hashtags #ProtectChrissy and #Stand with Chrissy surged to the top. Mama Jones wasn't having it. She lit up another live, her voice like fire. She crying for the cameras? She crying for sympathy. But she ain't cry when she hurt my son. The comments exploded, torn between rage and heartbreak. And then the unthinkable happened. A muffled audio leak surfaced online. A screaming match. Jim's voice, "Stay out of it, Ma. You're making it worse." Mama's voice, just as furious. "I should have never let that woman in our house." The audio cut off abruptly, but the damage was done. Fans frozen in shock. Jim turning against his own mother. Mama raging at Chrissy. A family ripping apart in real time. Twitter exploded. Hashtag family war trended worldwide. Hashtag family war trended worldwide. And then, just as the internet caught its breath, an anonymous Twitter account appeared. @Truths in Harlem. One tweet, cryptic and terrifying. "If you thought Miami was bad, wait until you hear what happened in Atlanta. Receipts dropping tomorrow." The comments froze. Theories spiraled. Another betrayal. Another woman. Another financial scandal? Nobody knew. But everyone knew one thing. Whatever was about to drop in Atlanta was going to make Miami look like child's play. The countdown began. The internet barely slept. Everyone was waiting, refreshing Twitter every few seconds. Eyes glued to the mysterious account that had shaken the culture overnight. @Truths in Harlem. 3 words that had become legend in less than 24 hours. The promised receipts dropped at dawn, and when they did, the chaos shattered every corner of social media. The first screenshot was simple, but deadly. Hotel records from a luxury suite in downtown Atlanta. The name Joseph Guillermo Jones, II, stamped in bold letters, Jim's legal name alongside a cosigner. The initials CL. Fans gasped. For a moment, people assumed it had to be Chrissy. But then timelines filled with photos, tweets, and proof that Chrissy had been in New York that same week attending an event in Manhattan. So, who was CL? Speculation turned savage. Some swore it was a backup dancer Jim had allegedly been spotted with at a nightclub. Others whispered it was a publicist. Blogs dug deep, pulling blurry photos of Jim in Atlanta, grainy shots of him leaning close to a mystery woman at a bar. And then came the second drop. Grainy surveillance stills, allegedly from the hotel's security footage. One frame Jim, his arm wrapped around a woman who was definitely not Chrissy. The images weren't clear, but the damage was done. Theories multiplied, fans zoomed, enhanced, circled silhouettes like amateur detectives. One half of the internet screamed cheating. The other half swore it was staged. But the truth didn't matter anymore. The narrative had shifted. Miami had a twin. Atlanta. Within hours, hashtags trended worldwide. Hashtag Atlanta receipts. Hashtag Jim exposed again. Hashtag where was Chrissy? The blogs lit up like fireworks, each headline more brutal than the last. Jim Jones double life. Atlanta betrayal shakes Harlem couple. Celebrities chimed in, adding gasoline to the fire. Erica Mena, already messy in round 1, tweeted, "Once a cheater, always a cheater. Ain't no surprise." Tamar Braxton added fuel with another cryptic story. "Truth always comes out, no matter how long you hide it." And then Mama Jones snapped. She went live within hours of the leak, her fury unmatched. "I told y'all." She screamed into the camera. "I've been told y'all that boy don't listen to me. Look what happens. Look what happens when you don't listen to your mother." But in a shocking pivot, she didn't just drag Jim. She turned her fire back on Chrissy. If she had been holding her man down like she's supposed to, he wouldn't have been wandering in Atlanta. That's her fault. The split was instant. Fans flooded the comments, half defending Chrissy, half agreeing with Mama. The live became a battlefield, each side clawing for dominance. Meanwhile, Chrissy stayed silent. No tweets, no posts, no lives, until a mysterious 15-second TikTok clip surfaced. Grainy audio, Chrissy's voice unmistakable, shaking with emotion. "If he drags me, I'll drag him worse. I've been holding these for years." The clip ended abruptly, but the implication was clear. Chrissy wasn't broken. She wasn't done. She had an arsenal of receipts locked and loaded, and she was threatening to release them. The internet lost its mind. Who leaked the clip? Was it staged? Fans dissected every syllable, every breath. Some swore it was Chrissy's declaration of war. Others called it fake. But the damage was irreversible. The narrative shifted again. Chrissy wasn't playing defense anymore. She was preparing to strike then. Just as the frenzy reached fever pitch, another anonymous email landed in gossip blogs' inboxes. The subject line, "The dinner in Atlanta." The attachment, a muffled recording from what sounded like a private dinner. A man's voice serially like Jim spoke low, almost conspiratorial. "Chrissy doesn't need to know. I'll make sure she gets her cut either way." Fans froze. Her cut. A cut of what? Theories exploded faster than wildfire. Was Jim cutting her into a business deal she wasn't supposed to know about? Was it hush money? Fraud? Something darker. Within hours, #hercut was trending. Some swore it proved financial betrayal. Others insisted it was a business arrangement Chrissy already knew about. But the seed of doubt had been planted, and it spread like poison. That's when Chrissy finally broke her silence. One Instagram post. A photo of herself, no glam, eyes swollen from crying. Caption, "Enough." No context. No hashtags. Just one word. The internet imploded. Celebrities swarmed the comments. Tamar Braxton. "Stand tall, sis." Candy Burris. A single red heart emoji. Cardi B reposted the image to her story with the caption, "Sometimes silence speaks louder than words." Jim's defenders fought back, accusing Chrissy of manipulative tactics, but the tide had begun to shift. Sympathy was swinging back her way. 2 days later, Jim couldn't hold back. He went live again, but this time there was no anger, no smirk, just exhaustion written across his face. "Y'all think y'all know the truth," he muttered, his voice low, broken, "but y'all don't know nothing. Chrissy been playing the long game, and she's about to get exposed." He flashed his phone at the screen. For a brief second, viewers glimpsed what looked like a PDF of a contract. One line visible, narrative control in exchange for executive producer credit. Jim yanked the phone back, refusing to show more. But it was too late. Fans had seen it. If real. It meant Chrissy wasn't just a cast member. She was allegedly negotiating control over how her story with Jim would be told. Twitter imploded again. Was Chrissy masterminding this entire saga, painting herself as the victim while pulling strings behind the scenes? Was Jim telling the truth, or cloying for sympathy as he drowned in betrayal? Mama Jones wasn't done. She returned to Instagram Live for nearly an hour, tears streaming, chest pounding, fury unrelenting. "I raised a king, and she trying to bury him alive," she screamed. Clips spread instantly across TikTok, chopped into viral moments. Fans debated every sentence. Some saw a mother protecting her son. Others saw a woman unhinged, desperate to protect a crumbling legacy. And then the biggest twist yet. At Truths in Harlem dropped again. This time, not screenshots, not speculation. Video, blurry but damning. Jim and Mama Jones, years ago, arguing in a kitchen. Mama's voice, "If you don't cut Chrissy off, you're going to lose everything." Jim's reply, cold, sharp, "You don't know what she got on me." That single line sent chills through the internet. What she got on me. Jim admitting on camera that Chrissy had leverage. Leverage so dangerous it terrified him. Theories turned nuclear. Did Chrissy have proof of infidelity? Financial crimes. Hidden children. Stolen money. Fans spiraled out of control. Blogs exploded with speculation. Twitter threads stretched for miles. Nobody knew, but everyone agreed. Chrissy was holding something deadly. And then, just when the frenzy reached its boiling point, Chrissy herself struck. No live, no rant. Just a single post. Black screen. White text. Receipts tomorrow, 8 p.m. The countdown began instantly. Fans cleared schedules. Blogs prepared emergency streams. Twitter ticked down the hours. Celebrities posted popcorn emojis, teasing the reveal. But the real terror came hours before the clock hit 8. Another leak surfaced this time. Mama Jones caught on a phone call. Her voice panicked, shaking. If she drops those receipts, Jimmy's finished. We all finished. The audio cut off, but it was enough. What could Chrissy possibly have that would destroy not just Jim but Mama Jones too? Fans screamed betrayal. Blogs labeled it the Harlem Apocalypse. Theories turned darker than ever. Some swore Chrissy had evidence of hidden bank accounts. Others whispered about criminal activity tied to family names. The fear was palpable. At exactly 8 p.m., the internet stood still. Instagram notifications lit up across millions of phones. Chrissy was live. Over 200,000 viewers poured in instantly. The numbers climbed so fast, the app froze. She sat in a dimly lit room, no makeup, no filters, intensity radiating from her face. I stayed quiet long enough, she began, her voice calm but trembling. But since Jimmy wants to throw stones, let me show you the glass house he lives in. She held up her phone, tapped the screen. The live filled with audio, Jim's voice unmistakable. If they find out about the Atlanta account, we done. Just keep it under her name. She'll never know. Gasps filled the chat. Chrissy stared into the camera. That's my name he's talking about. He was hiding money, running it through me, thinking I'd never catch on. The comments detonated. Hashtag Atlanta account trended instantly. Fans demanded answers. Jim's defenders scrambled. But Chrissy wasn't finished. She pressed play again. Another recording. Jim's voice colder this time. Chrissy ain't going to leave. She ain't got nobody but me. I own her. The arrogance dripped from his words. Chrissy's eyes glistened. 20 years of loyalty. And this is how he spoke about me. How he spoke about me. And then she dropped the bomb that made the internet implode. You want to talk about betrayal, Jimmy? Let's talk about Miami. The world stopped again as those words slipped from Chrissy's lips. Let's talk about Miami. Silence filled the live. The comments frozen for a split second before detonating like dynamite. Miami, the ghost that had haunted this entire saga from Jim's first angry voicemail, was finally about to be dragged into the light. Chrissy leaned forward, her face lit only by the glow of her phone screen. For years, I protected him. I swallowed the lies, the humiliation, the disrespect. I told myself it was love. I told myself he would change. But Miami was the night everything snapped. She tapped her phone again, and the live filled with audio. A woman's laughter, faint, sultry, unmistakably intimate. Jim's voice followed, lower, playful. The sound of a man with no care in the world. You know, I can't take you back to Harlem. She'd kill me. The audio cut off abruptly, but it was enough. The internet ignited in flames. Hashtags, hashtag Miami Truth, and hashtag Chrissy Knew trended within minutes. Blogs pounced. Gossip accounts clipped the audio, looped it, slowed it, dissected every syllable. But Chrissy wasn't done. She swiped again. Another recording. This one, even worse. Jim's voice harsher now, irritated. Chrissy ain't going nowhere. She need me. She'd been living off me since day one. The chat exploded with gasps, crying emojis, fire emojis. The betrayal wasn't just infidelity, was disdain, arrogance, cruelty. Chrissy sat stone-faced as the audio played, letting the world judge for itself. Then she pulled out the real grenade. Screenshots, plane tickets. Jim's name, another woman's name, 2 seats side by side. Booked for Miami. The date. The same week Chrissy had posted throwback pictures from Harlem, pretending she was at home while Jim was away. The deception was undeniable. The betrayal, undeniable. The internet melted down. Hashtag to tickets to Miami roared across timelines like wildfire. And just when everyone thought Chrissy had dropped the last bomb, she dropped the nuclear warhead. A text thread. Jim's number visible at the top. Messages to the mysterious M. I told Chrissy you were just a business contact. She believed me. Lol. Another. Don't post nothing. Keep it low until I get back. The devastation was total. Blogs screamed in all caps. Fans sobbed in comments. Twitter threads stretched miles long. Jim Jones, Harlem's own hip-hop veteran, culture staple, was shredded, reduced to a cheating liar in the public square. And Chrissy, for the first time in weeks, she was no longer the accused. She was the vindicated. But then came the twist nobody saw coming. Mama Jones went live. Her voice was broken, shaking, but her rage burned hotter than ever. She planned this, Mama roared. She'd been saving them tapes for years just to destroy my son. You think she innocent? She a snake? She a witch? She'd been plotting to bury him from the start. The internet fractured in real time. Some screamed that Mama was gaslighting, protecting her son at all costs. Others defended her, claiming Chrissy's move was calculated revenge, not truth. But then Mama did the unthinkable. She pulled out her own receipts. Old voicemails, allegedly from Chrissy, surfaced on her live. Chrissy's voice: "You better keep him in check, or I'll leave and take everything with me." Another: "Don't think I won't expose him, Mama. You know I can ruin him." The audience froze. Were these real? Were they edited? Nobody knew. But Mama Jones had forced a new question into the narrative. Was Chrissy the victim or the mastermind pulling strings all along? The comments turned into a battlefield again. Hashtag Team Chrissy versus hashtag Team Mama. Celebrities weighed in, pouring gasoline on the fire. Cardi B posted to Instagram, "A woman can only take so much." But plotting? That's a whole different thing. Funk Flex went live on Hot 97, ranting, "This the dirtiest Harlem soap opera I ever seen. They turning family into reality TV." The debate was vicious, endless, and inescapable. Meanwhile, Jim stayed silent. No posts, no lives, no tweets, just silence. And in that silence, the speculation became lethal. Rumors swirled that he'd fled Harlem, that he'd checked into a hotel, that VH1 had suspended his filming. Some whispered he was in talks with lawyers, preparing to sue Chrissy for defamation. Others swore he was spiraling, drowning in the weight of betrayal and exposure. Then came the leak that shattered everything. At Truths in Harlem struck again, this time with a clip so explosive it seemed impossible. Jim and Mama Jones, sitting in a car, voices low but clear. "Jim, if Chrissy drops the video, I'm done. It ain't just me. It's everybody. Harlem will never forgive me. Mama, we'll stop her. She can't win." The internet erupted. The video. The dreaded, whispered about, never-before-seen weapon Chrissy allegedly held. Fans went into overdrive, theorizing about what the video could be. Infidelity. Fraud. Violence. Something criminal. The mystery consumed the culture, drowning out everything else. Blogs labeled it the Doomsday File. Twitter hashtags screamed hashtag the video and hashtag Chrissy bombshell. And then Chrissy fanned the flames herself. One cryptic post. A black screen with a single caption. "You wanted war? Now you'll get it." Friday. The countdown began immediately. The entire internet turned into a waiting room, ticking down the days, hours, minutes until Chrissy's alleged doomsday reveal. Fans set reminders. Gossip blogs scheduled live streams. YouTubers prepped marathon coverage. Even mainstream outlets like TMZ and The Shade Room cleared space for Friday night. But the lead-up was chaos. Mama Jones refused to stay quiet, dragging Chrissy every day on Instagram Live. Her rants alternating between fury and tears. "She gonna regret the day she crossed this family," Mama screamed, mascara running down her cheeks. Fans clipped her breakdowns, turning them into memes, reaction videos, TikTok trends. But behind the laughter, the fear was real. If the video was as bad as Jim and Mama feared, careers weren't just at stake, entire reputations, legacies, and livelihoods could be obliterated in one upload. Jim finally broke his silence 2 nights before Friday. One Instagram story. A black and white photo of himself, head in hands, no caption. The post spread like wildfire, reposted thousands of times, dissected endlessly. Was it guilt? Was it despair? Was it resignation? Nobody knew, but everyone agreed. Something was coming, and then Friday arrived by 7:55 p.m. Over 500,000 people had gathered on Chrissy's Instagram, waiting, screens glowing in dark rooms across the world. The anticipation was unbearable. TikTokers went live to react in real time. Twitter exploded with countdowns. Celebrities dropped cryptic comments, fueling the hysteria at 8 p.m. sharp. Chrissy appeared. No glam, no theatrics. Just her sitting in silence, eyes locked on the camera. The chat screamed. The view count skyrocketed. She took a deep breath. This is the last time I'll speak on this. But the world deserves to know. She reached for her phone, tapped the screen. The audio crackled. A grainy video began to play. Jim's voice, unmistakable, panicked. If this comes out, we're all going to jail. Keep it quiet. I'll pay whoever I have to pay. Just make sure, Chrissy, don't find out. The screen cut black. Chrissy's face filled the frame again. Her voice was steady now. And that, she said, is who y'all been defending. The live ended instantly. The internet collapsed into pandemonium. Fans screamed in disbelief. Blogs scrambled to replay the clip. Twitter hashtags erupted. Hashtag JailTimeJimmy. Hashtag Chrissy wins. Hashtag Mama exposed. Nobody knew the full context of the video. What crime? What secret? What danger Jim was hiding, but the implication was enough to send shockwaves through hip-hop, Harlem, and Hollywood. Within minutes, VH1 released a vague statement. We are aware of recent allegations and are reviewing our contractual obligations. TMZ plastered the headline. Chrissy drops career-ending bomb on Jim Jones. The Shade Room declared. The internet will never be the same. Mama Jones vanished from Instagram for 24 hours. Jim went silent. Chrissy didn't post again. But the world couldn't stop talking. Every group chat, every barbershop, every timeline was consumed with one question. What exactly did Jim mean when he said, "We're all going to jail"? And the worst part? Chrissy hadn't even said the video was the full story. She left the internet dangling with one final caption on her Instagram story, posted an hour after the live. 3 chilling words, more to come. The war wasn't over. It had only just begun. And there you have it, family. The truth is out, but the storm has only just begun. Jim Jones is silent. Mama Jones is shaken. And Chrissy. She just pulled the pin on a grenade that could blow Harlem wide open. But the question hanging over all of us tonight is simple. What happens next? Is this the end of Jim's legacy or the beginning of Chrissy's era? And what exactly is in those other receipts she hinted at? This is bigger than gossip. This is a cultural earthquake, shaking hip-hop, Harlem, and reality TV all at once. And you already know. The second more receipts drop. The second another leak hits the blogs. We'll be right here breaking it down for you in real time. But I need you locked in with me because the next chapter in this saga could drop at a nigh moment. And if you blink, you'll miss the reveal everyone will be talking about. So here's what you need to do. Smash that like button if you're riding with Chrissy. Drop a comment if you're standing with Jim or Mama. And hit that subscribe with the notification bell on. Because trust me, the next 24 hours are going to be explosive. I'm talking leaked videos, lawsuits, and maybe even police getting involved. Leaked videos, lawsuits, and maybe even police getting involved.